Our special guest this morning here at 7:39 here at the Enid Television Network studio is Captain Gary Fuxa. Captain, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank
We have we have a lighthearted show, but we have a very serious topic this morning, and we
Yes, it
appreciate
is.
you being here with us. And we kind of have a tag team event, so here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we definitely do appreciate you coming and speaking about this really important topic, which I think is becoming just more real every single day. How would you define an active shooter situation?
Well, it's a very unfortunate incident, and it's unfortunately plaguing our society, our mankind. It is an event where you have an individual or individuals actively engaged in killing people or attempting to kill people in a populated area.
Captain, I've noticed that at our church services, we've always had a security guard, if you will, but they've been more visible, I've noticed, in the last year, before and after services. And I understand that the Enid Police Department is involved in church surveys. And so can you kind of define what church survey is? Or I may not have the right term, but...
we do security surveys. And
Okay,
we've been
security
doing
surveys.
these for several
Okay.
years now.
Okay.
We'll come to your business, your facility. We've been doing this for schools and businesses for several years.
And churches? Or
And
was it-
churches,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
But we'll go in and we'll do a site survey, and we'll make any recommendations on what you can do to make your facility safer, to make it less of a target. We'll also talk about active shooter protocols, things that you can do to help increase people's survival rates. And that is by having medical supplies on hand. We'll talk about what to do, what not to do when law enforcement arrives. That's very important. And we'll talk about post activities, what to do after the event.
Okay. And just for anybody watching this morning, that's something that's upon request, correct?
Yes.
They'll just contact you?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Is there something called active shooter protocol? And are there any common sense steps to take in this situation?
The Department of Homeland Security several years ago developed a template for citizens' response to an active shooter. It's simply run, hide, fight. And these three words sum up our thought process should we ever be involved in one of these type of events. Can you run from safety, or can you run to safety from the danger? If you can, great. If you can't, can you shelter in place? Can you barricade your area? Are there areas that will provide you protection from gunfire? This is the best case scenario. If you shelter in place and you can get into a location that affords you protection from gunfire and the suspect can't get to you, that's great. But the likelihood of that happening it's fairly low. So that leaves fight. Are you willing, are you able to fight for your life and for the lives of those that may be around you?
That kind of leads into my next question about those three key words, run, hide, and fight. And to take this a step further on Sarah's question about common sense, what can you elaborate on, or maybe what are some more common sense steps?
Well,
let's just say that you're maybe in a mall environment, you know, if we could focus on that for a moment. What would you consider these common sense steps? Because we're there to shop.
right.
You know, the last thing in our mind is run, hide, and fight kind of deal. So.
And for some people, it's tough. But situational awareness, being aware of your surrounding, what's going on around you is really, really important. This will help you make the right decision at the right time. This is something that we teach police officers. They have to constantly evaluate and monitor their environment as they go out their day. And for some, it's hard to do at first, but it's something that you've got to constantly have going on in the back of your mind. Say you enter a mall, okay? Where are the nearest exits? How many exits are there? Are there any areas that will protect you from gunfire? Situational awareness is something that will allow us to make the right decision at the right time. And just to elaborate a little bit, you know, the weapon of choice on a lot of these incidents happens to be a firearm, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Any tool, any weapon can be used, vehicles, explosives, and that's something that we're starting to see now as a trend. You know, noxious gases, knives, anything like that that can cause great bodily injury or death can be utilized.
Right. And to continue on with this interview, I know that recently you hear so many stories from heroes from like shooting situations, and you hear about them on TV. I would imagine this is easier for some people than others.
Sure.
I know that when I think of being in a situation like that, I don't think I could be capable of anything but freak out.
Right.
So are there any classes available of how individuals can learn, or how individuals can learn more info to, I guess, better be prepared for something like this?
Well, there are a lot of resources out there for active shooter. When we do our presentations, we go over some of those. We try to get people connected with those resources. Emergency action plans are big, especially for businesses and schools, and most of them have those plans. But if you don't, we can help you develop them. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of resources out there that we can get you connected to, and they can tailor those plans to your specific facility. If you've got a plan, you've got to train with it. It's just like a fire drill. It's just like a tornado drill. If you don't train on it, you're not going to be efficient at it. And that's something that's really important. You've got to train on it, and train it until you break it. And if you do get very good, the training is going very smooth, increase the complexity. Because as the years are progressing and we see these incidents occur, we're studying them, and they're evolving. And as a result, our training, our response is going to have to evolve as well. So by looking at the past and applying the lessons learned, we can gain a better understanding of what we need to do for the future.
Captain, we can spend a couple hours on this topic, and we need to bring our interview to a close. Let's talk about, just very at the end, how can people reach out to you? What's the best way to contact you? We're going to make time where we can talk a lot more about this topic in the future.
Okay.
But how can people reach out to you?
They can call the police station. Our non-emergency number is 242-7000.
Okay.
They can ask for me. They can also email me. My email is gfuxa@enid.org.
Very good. Captain Gary Fuxa, thank you so much for being here. It's a very serious topic,
Yes.
but we appreciate you shedding light on it. So
You
thank
bet.
you very much.